Welcome to another episode of Redesigning Your Relationships Live. We're back. I am one of your hosts, Giovanna Burgess White. This is one of my hosts and co-hosts.
Yeah, I will claim the other side of this podcast. Hello, I'm Yvette Valdenegro. Nice to be here.
And I know what you guys are thinking. Where have you been? It's been 3 weeks of like, what? We're back. And if you didn't watch Excuse Me Part 1 like 3 weeks ago, no worries. You have time to go back. We are going to have Excuse Me Part 2 today, and then we're going to go to 3 and 4 in the following weeks. We're just excited to be here. And if this is the first time you're watching us live, welcome. We go live every Wednesday unless we're on vacation, which just happened. And we have a podcast every Friday, the same podcast on Friday on all podcast platforms. So if you don't want to watch us, you can just listen to us. And great tools and resources at YG Collaboration. So we are relationship coaches. We help women with the relationship with self, time, money. And we're here to talk about excuses. And we'll do a little baby recap on part 1. I think we should, just because it's been 3 weeks. Did I miss anything before we get started?
Yes, I wanted to say a couple things. Well, I think it's fair to say, like, yes, Gio and I have been gone for 3 weeks, but I do want to say the upside to being gone, even though it was hell. Don't want to get into that side of it, but I have never, I should say never, more than ever, it is more clear to me a couple things. What we do is so important. And we shared this before with previous episodes, that we're real people who go through real things. And if it was not for this work that we do and working on ourselves, I know personally my last 3 weeks would be a whole different journey. So I'm so grateful. So the reality that freaking life happens, and that, you know, who's the family you turn to, friends, resources, who are you in those times, all that becomes very real. So I just am so thankful for my own journey, which leads me into, again, the importance of collaborations, the importance of time management, the importance of calendar integrity, the importance of making good decisions and having a really great business partner, which I would like to say, Gio, thank you for just being amazing. But I say that for everybody out there, that collaborations do work, partnerships do work, it is work. But you don't realize how valuable it is until you need the other person like never before. So don't put yourselves in that kind of situation. Plan ahead, be prepared. And that way, when stuff happens, then it's not so much like you're not dealing with life and business. You can just be in the moment, which is my new goal for myself. So not that it was perfect, but I'm like, wow, so valuable just to have those resources. And then also just to say, I was able to go to a conference this last week, which was incredible. Shout out to Spark Media Ventures for everything they did. But as a podcaster, when I have to laugh because we 100% have done everything backwards, but we're 100% successful, not because of the 5 million downloads that we get, because we do really get 5 million downloads, but because we're a resource and a tool, and we're helping people one person at a time. So encouragement again, if you are a creative and you want to get into that space, please talk to Gio and I, because we're so happy to help you. And even with the business side of it, I also realized, even in a podcast environment, how crucial it was, the resources that are not available to people, classes, what we offer online. And that's not a shameful plug. I'm just really being real, that if you feel like you are alone or don't know where to turn, or like, I just need better follow-up, I wish I was more organized with my time. Hi, that's what we teach. And it is real. Life happens. And that's my shameful plug. And let's get into excuses, because, oh my gosh, like we said last time, once you start focusing on this, I think last time I was like, I don't even think it was an hour in the morning before I was like, oh, excuse number 1. That just right out of my mouth. Hi, it happens.
We had some great comments in the last one, like my face when I was like, oh my God, how many excuses we make a day. So let's do a quick recap. Yep. Let's add our amazing tech team here. Thank you for teching. Okay. So this is last. Oh, wait, yes. So excuse, real quick, just a reason which an individual does or doesn't do something. We all make excuses. We're not going to go through that part, but I want to talk about, wait, am I on the right slide?
Well, we didn't say we didn't have a slide for the stats, but I have the
Okay,
stats right here.
okay, go through the
Whenever
stats.
we did the math over, you're like, wait, what? Say that again. It's true. This is so true. We make 2,200 excuses per year. And these are just the ones that we catch ourselves, the big ones, right?
Right.
That breaks down to 183 per month, 6 per day. So that's average that out in a 12-hour workday. You're doing one excuse every hour. I have to say, when I started paying attention to what I was doing, sorry to say, guys, but my excuse level, when you really, and it could just be, I think the other one last time we were talking, it was like I made the excuse of, oh, I haven't had my coffee yet. Okay. You don't realize that that is truly excuse. I'm excusing not knowing something or not being awake because I haven't had my coffee yet. When in all reality, let's just be real, I can hurt my own toes. Hi, Yvette. If you would have gotten up earlier, been in the schedule that you were supposed to, you would have already had the coffee amount that you needed to, and you wouldn't be feeling that way. So it is about, which we're going to talk about, it's about taking responsibility.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about the excuses that we make and why we're making these excuses. Oh, welcome to our sponsor.
Hi, let me
Yeah. No worries. I'll put you on mute and I'll just go through this real quick and then you come off mute. Okay. So why are we making excuses? Oh, the pressure to say yes, or because we can't say no. And we have many, many episodes on talking about boundaries and putting those boundaries up, and then also staying clear with your boundaries and understanding the power of no. But the pressure to say yes or not saying no, fear always eats us up. Fear, FOMO, all the things, uncertainty, and the number one, I'm going to take you up on mute because you can be back in here. Here we go. Drum roll.
Lack of purpose.
Yep.
Which, listen, guys, we don't make this up. I promise you, when I'm doing the research and putting stuff together, I always go, how is everything in the universe and our world all go back to the same thing? When you don't have a purpose and a vision and you work towards something every day that you're like, yes, this is what I'm supposed to do. You know what you do all day long? You excuse why you're not going to do the things that you're not going to do. Yes. And you spin yourself, and it's a cycle over and over and over. And that is why, whether we meet people, whether it's been our past lives, or it's people that are telling us their stories right now, this is the loop that people get themselves on, because it's easy to blame someone else. There's always a reason why it didn't happen the way we wanted it to. But more importantly, it's because we ourselves don't even know and understand the direction, one, that we want to go in, and two, where are we going? So then it's like, let me just make this stuff up as I go. And you find yourself 6 months, a year later, doing the same things over and over and over.
Yep. We see it all the time as relationship coaches. This also relates back to the relationship with time. Like I feel like everything does. But yes, number one reason why when we even have consultations with our clients, it's always an excuse. I don't have time. I don't have money. You know, it's not the right time for me. Or like I have too much on my plate, or I can't do this because or the blaming other people, which we have a whole episode on that as well.
Okay, so this happens all the time. I don't know if this happens. Okay, someone asks you, let's say you go to a networking group and someone goes, oh my gosh, I'd love to get together with you. Let's do X, Y, and Z. And then you're like, oh, I can't because I'm too busy, or I can't, whatever, right? And maybe inside you're thinking a couple things. Either A, oh my God, I'm so not being a good person with my time right now, but I can't really say that because that's embarrassing. Or I'm really going through it right now, but I can't say that because I want them to think that I'm having a perfect life. Or, that person's not necessarily on my priority list right now, but I don't want to seem rude, right? So then if you don't say the truth, however you feel like it should be presented in a professional way, then that person's going to leave that door open again. Well, let's do this day. Let's do this other day. Let's do it in an hour, 2 hours, until you say what the real reason is. And it's okay to say, listen, right now with my time, I am really sticking to my goal list and what I need to get done. And right now I cannot add in another thing. When that changes, I will definitely reach out to you.
Yep.
End of story.
That's it. Yeah. And that happens all the time. I mean, all the time. I get that. A lot of people always ask us, like, why don't we do one-on-ones? And it's like, we just can't. We have our schedule made like people think we're crazy. Like until the end of this year, Q1 and Q2 are already lined up. So we've created a system for us on how to connect with people. It's not that we don't want to. It's not that like, oh, Gio and Yvette can't do one-on-ones. No, we have, calendar integrity. We prioritize again. We have our business, we have our lives, we have other relationships. And so the minute you start being that yes person is the minute, again, your life is just going to fall apart, and you're always going to have it's going to be a ripple effect of excuses from one relationship to the other because you're not putting up boundaries, you're not learning how to say no, and you're saying yes to everything. So
yeah,
I'm getting hot just talking about it.
And it's sad. Okay, well, when I lost my excuses, I found my results. I mean, it says it there also I think there's another slide about, excuses rob your own personal growth. That robbed you, which you think you're saving the other person. You're not really saying what's going on, but the only person you're hurting is yourself. And over time, I don't think people understand the effects of the excuses over time. And I have run into people and talked to people. Sometimes you can't keep up with your own excuses. And then you find yourself in a bigger hole. And we'll talk about that in 3 and 4 too. Just what really happens when you keep doing this to yourself. There are consequences that we really don't pay attention to. So pay attention to part 3 and 4 because you'll need to know.
Yes.
You want to know how you're affecting yourself.
We will be back next week with part 3. We're in the way. What is happening when you're making these excuses? So we're going to talk about the what next week. And since we're live, shameless plug, I'll shameless plug us at the end. Yes, we're back. We're back in person. There is so much happening. We are very organized with our calendar. If you need community, if you need to get out, if you want to connect with us, this is your time. We have from here until mid-November. I kid you not. We have 11 events lined up. So if you're like, Gio, I don't know where to find it, I don't even know where to start, Yvette, just DM us. We have philanthropy. We have networking. We have personal growth. We have business growth. Like when I tell you how on fire I am from being back from vacation because the lineup is insane, like Cyprus, Fort Bend, Houston, the Heights, we're everywhere. Like I feel like it's like Gio and Yvette touring Houston. Reach out to us.
It's our renaissance.
I know. This week alone, tomorrow, Latinas in Heels, Cyprus meets. But we also have an amazing event for 2 beautiful nonprofits in the Cyprus, Tambo Magnolia area. If you want to come to a free event, you want to be just part of the nonprofit world, come for 2 hours. We're doing raffles. We're doing giveaways. Yvette and I are going to be there. Then Saturday, I'm so excited to be part of an amazing panel. If you're thinking about podcasting, want to learn more about podcasting, you're a writer, like this is just for women in Houston, come see us. There's an amazing panel lineup. You get to spend 30 minutes one-on-one with us. Ask us all the questions. Because like Yvette said earlier, we're kind of like non-traditional podcasters, but things are changing. The stats are in video. It's all about video podcasting. We're actually going to change the whole way we podcast in 2024. So we're ahead, even though we weren't doing it right, we're totally ahead of the curve. So come talk to us, learn about it. All that information is anywhere you're watching or listening. And again, if you're like, I just don't know how to get to you, message us. We'll get you all the information. And then from October through mid-November, we are all over Houston. And then we will take a break and we won't be back until January when we do the Growth Summit. Because we're all about time management, calendar integrity, and we are going to take off December. We may do a couple of things here and there, but nothing like from today through the 16th of November. I think that's it. Did I miss anything?
No, you did great. Way to be back, Gio. Way to be back.
And we're back. So we will see you next week for part 3. If you missed part 1, go back. You can listen on podcast or you can watch on YouTube or anywhere you're watching this. Until then, we'll see you next week. Bye.